Sniper with the Tuesday video, and it's Tuesday the 11th of April. Starting with the Dow this morning. This is a chart from subscriber John Evans, sent this through yesterday. Basically we have the daily Dow chart with the 50-day and the 200-day moving averages. Notice that the 50 is becoming, has been support for some days now, almost 2 weeks in fact. It's also been fairly well documented in previously. It's been guiding this this movement for this whole 6-month period really quite well. Chart pattern remains the same. This is certainly too big really for a fourth wave now, so I think we have to count this as a 1, 2, 3, some kind of fourth here, 5. However, this is an ABC still. This looks like a B. So a C wave, maybe down to the 200-day moving average, would seem quite a neat count here. Whether it'll go that far, I don't know. I mean, the move here was 212 down to 204. That's 800 points. So 800 points off there is around 20,000. So that's the 20,000 level is obviously an important support level. A and C would be equal at that point, and break below that would take us down to the 200-day moving average. Difficult to know right now. We're not getting many clear signals. Let's have a look at the hourly chart. I mean, the peak here is of some importance. You can count 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4 is rather exaggerated compared to the 2. That's an ABC, which doesn't really clarify matters. Then you've got an A, B, C, but this looks particularly uninspiring. Obviously, we've got the 50-day moving average around here somewhere, which is holding the whole thing together for now. But a break below there, one could use an extreme stop below there. But the Dow is very adept at bouncing back quite strongly, this kind of thing. So if I see something interesting, I'll also let you know. Otherwise, I think I'll just stand aside for the time being. One quick point, as you know, we have the WhatsApp room. In fact, I did show this chart. I just shown the video in that room yesterday. A number of you haven't joined yet. If you have a problem with this, please let me know. I mean, obviously, if I need to, I will keep doing SMS alerts. But I need to know those of you who actually want SMS alerts. So please just drop me an email. If you'd rather continue to get SMS alerts, then I'll do that. I mean, obviously, I can't send the same kind of information I can in the WhatsApp room. I'm limited to, I think it's 160 characters. It's very hard to send charts. I mean, I had to link it up, I had to upload a chart. It's really quite a procedure. So the room has a huge advantage in that sense. But obviously, if you still want SMS alerts, then please let me know. And if you have a problem with WhatsApp that I can maybe solve for you, then again, please let me know. Alright, this is a 2-hour chart of FTSE. We've still got the 5 waves off the top. 2, 3, 4, 5. This thing has been a little bit like a triangle. I mean, it's rather getting rather long in the tooth now. I would have thought we'd have had a corrective move, and then would have seen another fall, but that isn't what's happening. Instead of which we're getting this rather triangular formation, which I guess would be A, B, so that could be a C, which fails, D, E maybe. Again, not really very inspiring. The next leg may be the downside, but there's no clear pattern really. It looks a bit positive at the moment. So rather similar to the Dow. It looks fairly negative, but it's just not going down. Right, the DAX, similar kind of situation really. That's a clear ABC. This is also a clear ABC. So you expect to see a C wave, but instead of which we're bouncing at the moment. CrowdGap's currently long and in profit. It's having CrowdGap's having a really good run at the moment. I think NASDAQ actually is on its 14th winner in a row or something. It does this occasionally. It's quite nice to see them just keep coming in. Anyway, same position here. I mean, positive action today. I mean that is, I guess, a key support level. So if you want to use extreme stop, that might be one way of doing this. But again, it looks like it should go down, but it's not right. All right, on to gold. The 200-day moving average is around the 1260 level. Discuss that. We saw this break. Saw a break and then a failed break there. We've now got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave decline there. So this could be a corrective move. Maybe retest that, and then we go down again. So I don't think this correction is over yet. It still looks overly bullish. It's just a matter of, well, I believe it's just a matter of getting through these various corrections before we start seeing the expected move up. but it's not happening yet. Expiry is a week on Friday. That may be a factor in all this. Certainly, in terms of time, this decline. I mean, this isn't over yet, possibly. So a decline now could start to to end around that expiry point. All right, silver. MA's around here. So peak there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, maybe a C coming in. But again, I mean, having seen a 5 down, one would anticipate seeing at least a C wave. It could be a complete reversal, of course. I don't expect that. But maybe worth shorting if we see that kind of action, or an extreme stop below there, just to hedge, or from my point of view, to hedge my other positions. But looking short-term negative. Once it's over, I expect more upside on silver. Okay, finally a few words about Bitcoin. I'm doing this at the end so that people who aren't interested can switch off, as it were. This is the fairly short-term chart, but these are daily bars. We saw this peak, which came in before the low. This was like an ABC type move, which I guess we count as A, B, C. So right now it's looking like it's a positive move, and Bitcoin's now sort of gone fairly well straight up back to the $1,200 level. Of course, that could be a B wave, so I have to wait and see how it develops. Anyway, I'm not actually that bothered about the gyrations in the shorter term gyrations in the Bitcoin market. My view is that, rather like gold and silver, this is a longer term uptrend. It was Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies were the best performing asset class last year. You may have noticed that Agora has now jumped onto this wagon, so we're going to be bombarded with emails about this for the next X months, whatever. But I think they are correct. I mean, it's my view that this is here to stay, and some quite interesting videos actually that out of Agora. And Doug Casey has come up with something called FedCoin, suggesting that the US government is going to start switching to a digital government, which he calls FedCoin. It'll be very similar to Bitcoin, except that the federal government will have full access to the blockchain, so they'll know exactly what's going on. He mentioned apparently if everybody in the US wishes to withdraw their bank accounts in cash, it would take 20 to 30 years to actually print all the money to issue the notes. Well, clearly that's somewhat impractical. So having a digital currency would be a lot cheaper, a lot quicker, and given the access the government have to blockchain, be a lot more effective. So it seems to me that is an idea that's going to happen. I mean, it seems to be something that is almost bound to happen. I suspect the governments are watching the development of the cryptocurrencies with a view to learn from how they operate, so they can do it themselves in a way they can control. Now, what happened when the euro came in Europe? I sort of got personal contacts who experienced this. Was the people who had some cash stashed away had, I think, X months or whatever it was to actually, or maybe a couple of years, to exchange this cash for euros, but they didn't want to do that for various reasons, and it actually caused the property boom in Spain. All this money that didn't want to be changed to euros went into property, and it seems quite likely that if the Fed does issue a Fed coin, and people don't really want to be don't want to have their affairs open to the public eye in that way, then the cryptocurrencies, the current cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc., could see a massive boost in current levels of price. Now, at the same time as issuing a cryptocurrency, a Fed coin in the US, there may well be some kind of restrictions on the Americans' use of the other currencies, and of course that could be similar movements in Europe. I mean, the euro, whether it's dies or not, may also switch to a cryptocurrency, and other nations may decide to do something similar, because it is, I mean, most of us have our cash in digital currencies anyway. Most of us have cash in banks, wherever. It's just a number on a screen. It is digital, so I mean, although the whole idea of cryptocurrencies may seem revolutionary, it's what most of us do anyway. The only revolutionary aspect is it's governed by a blockchain. It's in independent hands in a sense, although the actual currencies aren't. So it's really a form of banking, but in a very new format, with lots of advantages, and of course an amount of risk, which is why I'm only into this in a fairly small way. Just for the record, I mean, I've now bought some Ethereum mining shares, I bought some Dash mining shares, I've got Zcash mining shares, and Bitcoin mining shares, all fairly modest sums, nothing huge. I've also got some amount of cash in these things, so it's something that I'm sort of geared up for. I plan to just plough in profits. Profits are coming in, so I mean, so far my BitClub network mining shares, which I bought for $3,500 back in November, have yielded me 1 Bitcoin. So my $3,500 now yielded a third, 33% return in less than 6 months. So that's pretty good going. And I keep on churning out the Bitcoin, some of which I reinvest back into mining shares. So I've now got more mining shares I had to start with, and some of which go out in coin, which I've transferred to my Bitcoin wallet, etc., etc. Anyway, the point being that I think the Fed coin is something that's almost bound to happen, and as it happens, and as the governments of the world look or have access even more closely to what their citizens are doing, there'll be a much greater desire to avoid that kind of investigation, as it were, into people's affairs. Not least, of course, by politicians. I think the politicians will be as keen as anybody else to get their cash somewhere else. So there is an element there that it might suit many people to keep the cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, etc., going as they are. Although quite how it works out, of course, is a big unknown. Anyway, as far as I can see, very few people really have any exposure to this market, Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. So there's a huge amount of scope on the upside. Having said that, there's also going to be some shocks, and there are going to be some nasty corrections, etc., etc., as you'd expect in this kind of situation. As ever, it's always a personal decision, but I'm certainly enjoying my involvement in this particular process. Anyway, on that note, I'll call it a day. If you found that interesting and useful, I'll be back with a report on Thursday morning. Have a great day. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.